this is outside the detention center. There's really nothing going on. I mean, I'm gonna stay out here for a while, but it's very dead. Appreciate you, madam. I see. I pulled in there on accident, so they probably all thought I was literally on here. Service is good, or
quit your job! Quit your job!
I'm standing right on top of people filming. Oh, there's cops there. Thought they were empty cars. Show us what you look like, a polar bear. I can't even click my thing to turn the camera around. I don't need goggles, I can assure you. It's completely dead out here. There's like 10 people max. Windy as hell. As you can see, look at the clouds. It's probably literally 20 people out here, if that. Of course, get interviewed or I'm not interviewing anyone because there's like not that many people here, and I'm not going to be obnoxious. And I definitely don't want to be interviewed. Don't make politics your entire personality. It makes you hateful. I don't even like politics, so it's definitely.
That's as far as I. So let me ask you. So what is the end goal here for everybody?
Well, the end goal is to get ICE out of Minnesota.
Entirely.
Yes, entirely. They're not needed. They're only here because Donald Trump has a vendetta against Minnesota. It's pathetic. It has nothing to do with immigration policy. Rounding up round. It's excessively cruel. Yeah, that was the kid that they were using as bait. You know, I don't know if it's appropriate to detain a 4-year-old outside of school. Put them on airplanes and El Paso. I probably wouldn't say that's appropriate, but I mean that's what's going on. This has nothing to do with getting criminals out. I mean,
So that was doing our question. To the extent, let's say, you know, hey, we're here. There's a child sex predators in the country illegally. Hypothetically, would you support their removal? Sure,
Hypothetically,
deporting a child
dangerous.
sex predator, but
Hypotheticals
like I said,
are
this has nothing to do
dangerous
with
topic.
that.
Exactly.
They're just trying to harass around people.
No,
none of us, nobody
wasn't a
gets
fucking pedophile. Like, what are we talking
He is a
about?
pedophile rapist.
Like, what are we talking about hypothetically?
Everybody's
Ask
okay
hypothetically.
What about just somebody who came here? Like, where do you draw the line? What if they just came here illegally? Period.
Well, coming here illegally is a civil offense, and you know, I believe in people being able to come and go if they want. Most of the immigrants end up paying taxes and then not getting anything out of those taxes. We already know they're not a drain on society that they're coming to, and you know,
They contribute.
going over the border is a civil offense. It's like the equivalent of getting a traffic ticket. So,
Well, if I was to cross the border illegally, I would get a misdemeanor.
Hypothetically
It's a
speaking,
misdemeanor. That's a little more than traffic
speaking,
ticket.
who do
Traffic
you
ticket's
fucking
a
work
violation.
for?
I mean,
What's the M stand for, huh?
Title 8, Code 1325
What the fuck is the M for? Who do you work for?
Muckraker.com.
I mean, really, the point here is that I don't think you need a campaign in school to campaign in 24-year-olds if your actual goal is to get criminals.
Oh, I understand.
I mean,
I'm
the
not here
and
with,
the
I'm not
point
here
is
to, I'm not
that
here to
this
like,
isn't making the city safer. The city
Amen.
is less safer. People are getting blinded. People are getting killed. And I mean,
Exactly
the
what
point is
you're
just creating a campaign of terror for brown people. People don't want to go outside. They're scared that they're going to get detained. U.S. citizens, I mean, they're just ignoring people
Or
who
even
have
the illegal
passports that are
immigrants. Who cares?
citizens.
And when children and their families and my staff are fearful, I'm telling you, it's really taking a toll.
Have there been any clashes between, like I drove past the school today and there are police everywhere. Have there been any clashes between local authorities and federal agents?
Not to my knowledge. I don't represent the police department, but not to my knowledge.
Not that I've heard either. Yeah.
Are you in touch with other school districts that are dealing with this? I mean, you're obviously the first to publicly acknowledge this, but what has that conversation been like?
Yeah, actually, the superintendents here in the metro area and across the state of Minnesota are very close. We have a Minnesota Association of Superintendents organization that works together, and we definitely have these conversations. My understanding is that Senator Kunesh will be having a press conference on Tuesday at the state capitol and has invited school officials to be there.
Superintendent, you talked about keeping kids inside during recess because of ICE activities. We've heard, of parent patrols outside of schools. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on outside of your schools during arrival and dismissal times? Have you had to call in local law enforcement to help with that? And also earlier this month, the governor said that he was considering whether there should be a state presence at schools to help ensure students get to and from school. Is that something that you would want to see the state take action on?
And I'll just say that'll be the last question.
Thank you, Kristen. So I communicate regularly with our local law enforcement. They mentor and coach our basketball team. They have open gym with our students. They do cooking competitions with our students. So we're in regular communication, and they're very supportive. And at the same time, we understand what the line is, local police department versus federal immigration, right? They're around because we have a youth outreach officer whose office is in a city-owned portion of our gym, I guess is the best way to describe it. So they are around on a daily basis. Particularly our one officer, who is a graduate of our high school, by the way, very proud.
With his therapy dog.
Yeah, with his therapy dog. We do have parent volunteers who have, of their own accord, chosen to be more present at arrival and dismissal. We also have had a number of staff who, again, of their own choosing, have been more present at arrival and dismissal.
And as for the governor's proposal,
Last question.
Yeah.
just in terms of the piece about earlier this month, the governor suggesting a state presence, is that something you would welcome?
What I'm requesting is a peaceful resolution to this situation. So I'm not requesting state officials to come to the school district. I'm requesting that we find a peaceful resolution out of this situation. Diplomatic and peaceful. That's what I'm requesting.
Thanks everybody for your interest, and I hope that you get this out so that everybody knows
illegal immigration, why is the largest federal immigration enforcement happening in Minnesota, where 1% of legal immigrants are, and not in, let's say, Texas or Florida, where massive amounts of legal immigrants are? It's because they're red states, and he doesn't have a personal vendetta against them because they voted for him.
There might be some truth to that. There definitely might be some truth to that. All right, well, do you consider ICE, last question, do you consider ICE agents to be terrorists?
Well, they're terrorizing the people of Minneapolis. They don't care about laws, so yeah, I mean, if the shoe fits, stop pepper spraying people or peacefully protesting, stop shooting people.
So I guess here's what I'm trying to say, because I hear people calling them terrorists, and you're entitled to your opinion, but if they're terrorists, would you support treating them like terrorists and all that comes with it?
What do you mean treating them like terrorists? You
Well,
mean like in
Jury nullification will happen. I think it could. It very well could in this case. But that's the risk. That's the risk here, guys. And we talked about this before. The guy out in LA who towed the ICE vehicles when they were in the middle of a raid, he got acquitted by a jury in Los Angeles. There's the guy up in Seattle where they're like, the local suburbs man, Seattle man, acquitted of assaulting immigration officers. When in reality, he was a Mexican national who was an illegal who overstayed his papers. So, yeah. Yeah, Minnesota's loony as fuck. Yep, remember, they were the only state to vote for Walter Mondale in 1984. So they're a commie by any name, yeah, but they don't hide it. They don't hide it. The Ant-Man channel says, praise God, hallelujah. Well, like I said, we'll see what happens at that point. We'll see what happens at some point here. Democracies for the queers. EDW Raptor for $5 says, a 24-hour stream if we can hit 27K. Can we hit the goal? No, but we'll definitely do a celebration. How about that, EDW? We'll celebrate it. We'll celebrate it and have fun. We'll have a good day. We'll have a good day. And so what do you throw a drowning lawyer his partner?
On the other side of that issue, and including some of the people who organized that protest, I'm not sure what Pam Bondi thinks journalism is, but that's what it is. And I really just want to quickly, and everyone knows this, but I just want to read the First Amendment, just so that people can be reminded. I'm really going to be grandma right now, and I'm going to take out my First Amendment and read it to you. It says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Therefore, nothing that was happening inside that church was a crime. If they want to try to come up with a crime for protesting, if the folks who own the church want to charge trespass or something like that, you can litigate that. But the reality is the protests were constitutionally sound. The journalism was constitutionally sound. And the only reason that Pam Bondi's Department of Injustice has decided to try to prosecute you is probably because Donald Trump told her to. And we no longer have a Justice Department because Pam Bondi, has decided that her job is not to pursue justice without fear or favor. Her job is to do whatever it is Donald Trump is telling her to do in the moment. And whoever annoys Donald Trump or makes him angry or makes him sad or doesn't kiss his ass,
Did you know you're killing the good bacteria that keeps breath fresh? Harsh mouthwash and aggressive brushing wipe out protective bacteria. Result, bad breath returns. Meet ProDentim, daily oral probiotic supporting good mouth bacteria for lasting freshness. Users notice results in 7 to 10 days. Stop masking. Start supporting. Get ProDentim now.
Mom jeans. She passed them down to you, but who passed them to her?
The Capitol's edifice. that doing that is First Amendment protected free speech. Slamming those officers in doorways, beating them with their fists, nearly killing Mike Fanone, nearly killing other officers, injuring 140 police officers, and leaving 6 people dead, that is protected free speech. But a protest in a church at which no one is harmed or killed, and covering that protest as a journalist, that's a crime. We are in Putin Navalny territory. This is the way Russia operates. It's the way North Korea and China operate. It is not supposed to be the way the United States of America operates.
Thank you, Joy. Aaron Haynes, the president of the National Association of Black Journalists, and thank you for your support, and thank you for the statement and for standing behind me. So what do you make on this assault on the First Amendment and this assault really on journalism? And especially, I want to put this in, Aaron, and we have to remember, let's be honest, in this Trump era, a lot of Black journalists have lost their jobs, whether it is in print or on television or in radio or whatever it is. A lot of Black journalists have lost their jobs. So talk to us about all of that.
Don, that's absolutely right. I mean, listen, we know that part of these attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion include attacks on journalists of color who we know have been disproportionately impacted in this anti-DEI climate, right? And so we must push back against that, because if we do not have a truly representative press, how can we have a truly free press? And how can we have a truly healthy democracy? We know that these issues are tied together, right? That democracy and a free press and diversity, those things are not mutually exclusive. They rise and fall together, as do the rest of us, right? These are issues that should frankly concern and alarm all Americans, right? We do know, right? We know that for Black journalists, the stakes can be even higher, right? Because we are often the ones that are on the front lines, right? Covering policing, covering immigration enforcement, covering civil rights, covering systemic inequality, the very places where accountability is most needed, right? So when institutions avoid moral clarity in these moments, it is Black journalists and the communities that we serve who feel the consequences of that. And that is part of the reason why we stood up for you. But we know that this is a broader issue of press freedom. We know that this is about press integrity. You were at that church because that is where the news was happening. And this is what's happening. You know, we're seeing what's playing out right now, like journalists doing their jobs, covering protests, documenting government action, bearing witness in moments of public tension, are increasingly having their credibility challenged and their safety threatened. People like you, people like Joy, who are our highest profile trailblazers in this new independent media ecosystem, are being targeted for a reason. They want to silence, they want to chill people like you who are out here, who are telling the truth independently. When you said that you were going to Minneapolis over the weekend, I knew that that meant that we were going to get an honest and accurate record of what was happening on the ground. So recent public warnings aimed at people like you for covering a protest should really concern anybody who believes in a free and independent press, because honestly, that kind of rhetoric sends a really chilling message that journalism itself can be.
Thank you for that, Aaron. I want to put this up. I spoke to, or at least texted, because she's on a plane on her way to Sundance, Sharon Waxman, who is the founder of the Wrap. And Sharon gave me this statement. She says, as a founder of the Wrap, I said, do you come on tonight? She goes, no, I'm on a plane. She goes, but this is what's happening. She talked about press freedom and rights. She says, they're whittling away, or perhaps more like a buzzsaw. People like you can't be intimidated. We will not be intimidated, but you are very front line. I will support to my last breath. Honestly, many of the not so silent majority and much of the press stands with you.
She's exactly right, Dawn. She's exactly right. And I know that you know this, but I just want to point out for folks watching that not only did NABJ issue a statement, but many of our allies in journalism and beyond are standing with the issue of press freedom and press integrity, from the American Society of Journalists and Authors to the Association of Foreign Correspondents, the Committee to Protect Journalists, the Freedom of the Press Foundation, Journalism and Women's Symposium. The Hispanic journalists are with us, the Arab and Middle Eastern journalists, the Asian American journalists. PEN America is with us, the Radio, Television, Digital News Association, Reporters Without Borders. I could go on and on. The Association of LGBTQ+ journalists. All of these folks are standing with us because they know that this is an issue of press freedom. This is about all of us, not only as journalists in our profession, but also cares about the founding ideals of this country, which we must mention as we head into our 250th anniversary. Free press is foundational to that, as Joy pointed out, in our founding documents. And so that could be under threat, that could be wielded and weaponized in an attempt to intimidate the press, that is something that we must push back against, and that we are seeing a growing number of groups pushing back against, and we invite more people to join us and to stand with us.
Thank you very much. Now, I do know that one of my guests has a time issue. So Charles, if you have to go, just let us know. And
I'm able to extend for a little while, but it gives me such comfort to see Aaron and Joy on and hear their commentary. I think it's really important to connect the dots for your viewers. We've been talking about the press, but I think from an industry perspective, and Joy, and you can fill in the blanks here, can really sort of connect the dots for your viewers in terms of understanding. Let's think for a moment. Don Lemon, you are a streaming independent journalist. You are not right now affiliated with any sort of legacy corporate media platform. Why is there so much focus on you individually? It's because in this day and age, the work that needs to be done around legacy platforms and media from this administration has already been done. And again, for people who don't understand how to read between the lines on that, I'll let Joy and Don sort of fill that in. When it comes to legacy corporate media, a lot of that work has already been done. This administration understands the value of independent media and citizen journalism and people who don't necessarily have direct bosses and can't be told what they can and cannot say or what the slant is or is not. And so when you have that level of independence and you have even a modicum of resources, it represents a different type of danger coming out of the fourth branch of government. It represents a different type of exposure with respect to being able to truth tell and story tell that is not so easily controlled, particularly in this environment around where media continues to move and where it continues to shift. And so for people who don't really understand, there is a reason why Joy, why independent journalism right now is so incredibly important in the media landscape. And this administration understands that. And it's also very characteristic of how we have seen the executive branch continue to try and weaken every other aspect of government. And I referred to media in the press as the fourth branch because that's essentially how they function. But for people who do not realize in this moment, you can look in recent history. You talked about it in your lead-in, Don, think about Ferguson and how important citizen journalism and independent journalists were to telling those stories before they broke nationally. Think about Trayvon Martin and Sanford, Florida. Before those things had broken nationally, there were journalists who were on the ground who weren't necessarily affiliated with legacy or corporate media in the ways that you would expect, who were breaking that story saying this is going to be big before it became a national story. This is how movement has always functioned, particularly with the advancement of technology. And this administration understands that. So for your audience, I just want to underscore how critically important independent journalists like yourself are, like Joy are, because of the fact that there's not a need for validation from some of these other platforms. I mean, that you have them is great, but it's not necessary. And this administration is very, very, very understanding of that. So when your audience is thinking about where they get their news, how they get their news, understand that this administration knows how critical you all are to that pipeline, which is why you're getting so much of the focus that you are. And I suspect it will continue among other independent and citizen journalists that we will see
play out in real time. What makes us different is, yes, we do have residents that are beautifully standing up, supporting their neighbors, providing food, escorting them to their jobs, recording some of the unconstitutional acts that are taking place to make sure that some sunlight is added as a disinfectant to some of the chaos that is being caused. And To your question, we have a separation ordinance, which is widely publicized, is nothing new. We had one well before this operation started taking place, and that separation ordinance says that our police officers and public officials do not work with any federal agency around immigration enforcement work specifically. We do work with federal agencies to catch murderers. And so if they want to catch murderers, that's what we're for. And it doesn't matter if they're from Minneapolis, Chicago, Venezuela, Germany. It doesn't matter where the murderer is from. We're getting them because they're a murderer, not based on where they grew up. That's the way this should work in America. What our separation ordinance also says, and I say this to everybody throughout the city, is that we will not ask the question in Minneapolis as to whether a person is documented or not. Why? Because when you call 911, we want everybody to know that our first and primary concern is not your papers, but it's your safety. That's what we are focused on. Now, our police officers respond to any instance where they can help keep people safe. We have responded. We have arrested people. You've seen it. You can report it. Where safety has been compromised, our officers have stepped in to help. But I'll tell you exactly what I want our officers doing. We have 600 of them. They got limited time. I want them focusing their energies on investigating crime, on keeping people safe, on preventing carjackings and homicides. I don't want them spending time hunting down a guy, a dad, who has done nothing wrong, who just dropped his kids off at daycare, who's about to go work a 12-hour shift. That guy makes our city a better place.
Mayor, your reaction to J.D. Vance saying that the military is not needed here in the state?
Yeah, totally. So my reaction to J.D. Vance saying that the military is not needed in our state, yeah, wildly agree.
Mayor Fry, what would improved communication with federal authorities look like to you?
Well, so the question is, what would improved communication with federal authorities look like to me? Give me a call. You know, if J.D. Vance could feel free to reach out. We didn't get an invite, maybe unsurprisingly, to hang out while he was in town. We have done a whole lot of work through a number of different channels, including the channel of an email, to seek an audience to try to figure out how we can stop this from happening and how we can keep our city safe. Again, I want to be really clear here. There is a route forward if we're all willing to see it. If their goal is to keep Minneapolis safe from criminals that are doing bad things, we agree. Regardless of where those criminals are from, we want to make sure that they are held accountable and that we're able to keep our city safe. And so there's broad agreement around that. For all these other people, though, that have done nothing wrong, that are these wonderful members of our community, why not a path to citizenship for them? That makes all the sense in the world to me.
Mayor, what do you make of the Vice President meeting with Republican state lawmakers and neither you or the governor?
So the question was, what do I make of the Vice President Vance meeting with Republican lawmakers, but not me nor the governor? The question that I have is, again, is this political performance that is taking place in our city that is compromising our safety? Or is this trying to achieve an end goal that is improving safety in Minneapolis? Is this political performance? Is this partisan politics? Is this loving your ideology more than you love your country? Or is this trying to get something done for the sake of the American people and for the sake of the people of Minneapolis? I appreciate, the Vice President said a couple nice things about the beautiful city that we have. I agree, we have one. It's incredible. I'm so inspired by the people here in our city. And look, we got to find every possible way right now, again, as he said, to end this large-scale deployment and send these agents home.
One more question.
compromise between the city and ICE?
The question was, is there room for compromise? You know, look, I'll work with anybody that is willing to work in good faith with me. Yeah, so do I want to comment on Nikema Levy Armstrong's arrest? It's a gross abuse of power, and she should immediately be released. I'll do one more, and then I'm going to get going.
Vice President Van said if there's cooperation between state and local officials, these many ICE agents would not be needed to carry out enforcement operations. What's your response to that? Is that something you're open to, that open line of communication to get these thousands of ICE agents out of the city?
Well, you know, you don't need to, so the question is, there room for cooperation between the federal government and the state or in the city? You don't need to take my word for it. You can see it in the numbers coming straight out of corrections, which is a state agency, in the way that they have worked together. You don't need to take my word for it. You can see it in the numbers where we've successfully driven down shootings on the north side to a
Vistaprint prints everything to get your brand in front of your fans, like t-shirts, water bottles, and totes, so everyone can gift it, work in it, and take it. Whether it's one of a kind or one for your whole team, if you need it, we print it with 20% off.
Is not this. If this were about getting murderers, we would be able to do that. The number one question that we ask when we're trying to get a murderer is, are you a murderer? Is this a murderer? Not, where are you from? Where are you from is not the point here. The point is there a crime, a violent crime that has been committed? And of course, we've partnered extensively on that front. And so, again, let's just be really clear. Let's be really straightforward. I deeply appreciate all the work that the press has done just to uncover the facts and the truth so that we're not like talking by one another. I'm grateful to all of you, and thank you so much.
Renee, 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 you were driving away. Renee, 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 you were protecting, fleeing, caring, being, doing no harm. Renee, 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 you were driving away. Renee, 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 you were protecting, fleeing, caring, being. harm. Renee, 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 you were driving away. Renee, 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 you were protecting, fleeing, caring.
Guys, listen. Use brisket. Use brisket. Use a little brisket. Oh yeah, just a little bit. Just start with little bits. Quarter pound, half pound, whatever, depending on how much. Just make it a portion, and you can raise it and lower it. Guys, I'm telling you. Or if you can find pork belly, make pork belly into bacon, big slabs of bacon, and then use portions of bacon to put into your hamburger. Just
Pathetic losers, just be curious. I'm gonna come out to my tires all smashed or something. All my tires freaking say you're overcome with all that's going on in the world. Well, I'm trying to find my keys here. What makes you want to do this? You know. All right, are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? They're definitely gonna tell me no filming. All right, let's get it. This is so freaking stupid. This is the dumbest thing I think I've done. Let's see if all are really welcome, guys. Book fund. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. All right, guys. This may be my last stream. It was nice knowing you all. If I die, okay. Oh. All right, guys, moment of truth. Moment of truth. It's open. Hello. My name's Shannon. So I am from LA. I was actually curious about this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could just give me some information.
You want a tour? Or?
Sure.
Okay. Let me see if we have somebody available.
Okay.
Have you been out to the church in LA?
Yeah. Yeah. One time I went by there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see what we got here.
Thank you very much. My name is Adam Feichel. I'm a coastal scientist with Woods Hole Group. As everyone is, I'm sure, aware, shark activity is the focus of concern throughout the region. And the purpose behind this project was to perform an independent technical review of various shark mitigation alternatives
No, it's a gal. She said she's been to the LA church once, and she was curious and stopped in here and would like to. Oh, perfect. Okay.
There isn't a single.
All right. I'll tell you what.
You were driving away. Renee, Renee, Renee. You were protecting, fleeing, caring, being, doing no harm.
Yeah, just about.
about you get the fuck out of here?
Thank you.